Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I'm your course instructor, Miss Anika Saidzia from University of Education, Bank Road Campus, Lahore. First, we will see the course outline of Advanced Drawing. The first topic is Definition of Creative Drawing. Second topic is History of Modern Drawing. Third topic is Creative Drawing with Still Objects. Fourth topic is creative drawing with figure. Fifth topic is composition with the environment. Fifth topic is detailed study of human figure and environment. And seventh topic is students are encouraged to experiment with media and themes of their own choice. And last topic is any social representations. First, to learn about the creative drawing, one should know about that what is drawing in art. In fine art, the term drawing is defined as the linear realization of visual objects, concepts, emotions, and fantasies, including symbols and even abstract forms. Drawing is an art which is characterized by an emphasis on form or shape rather than mass and color as in painting. So, it is important to understand that elements like shape, line, dot are more important in drawing rather than in any painting. In painting, color and volume are more important. As drawing is a linear realization of visual objects, it means that if we look at some object and also on some figure, the first thing which we see is the contours of that object and figure. We focus more on the lines of these objects and try to capture them with the help of lines. So basically, lines are the key element which helps to capture any object in drawing. Now let us discuss that what are the different kinds of drawing. There are 7 different kinds of drawing. The first one is illustration drawing. Second is life drawing. Third is emotive drawing. Fourth is analytical drawing. Fifth is perspective drawing. Sixth is diagrammatic drawing. And the seventh one is geometric drawing. First, we will discuss the illustration drawing. These are the drawings that are created to represent the layout of a particular document. They include all the basic details of the project concerned, clearly stating its purpose, style, size, color, character, and effect. So, an illustration drawing discusses all the details of that particular document or of your project to which you are studying. Here are some examples of illustration drawing. On the left side, as you can see, there is an illustration drawing which clearly depicts the growth of a seed gradually from a plant, and when the plant gets the leaves, after that it gets the flowers, and after getting flower we will get the fruit. So it illustrates clearly the cycle, the growth cycle of a seed. And on the right side there is also, we can see a scene, illustrative scene from the daily life where figures are busy in conversation. So it also illustrates the basic routine life of human beings. It is very important to understand the relationship of drawing and painting side by side, because both of them are very helpful to each other. Here is another example of illustration painting. Basically, this miniature painting is an illustration of Jahangir's dream. In his dream, he saw his rival Shah Abbas, the Safavid ruler of the Persian Empire, standing beside him, and he is shown overwhelming him with a overwhelming gesture. They stand on the top of the world on a lion and a lamb, respectively, in peace and harmony. Both these animals are representing their instincts and their typical character. Note the angels holding up the crescent moon and the sun. Angels holding a crescent and a sun beside Jahangir's head. At the same time, it is making a halo, which is a symbol of piousness, and it also shows Jahangir's rule and power not only on the world but also in the skies. Here is another example of illustration painting, which is titled as The Princess of the House of Temur. It is a Mughal miniature painting painted by Abdul Samad, and this is the earliest known example of Mughal painting. The central figure is believed to be Humayun, who was the second Mughal emperor and who also commissioned that particular painting. So, in this miniature painting, we can clearly see that it is illustrating their daily routines and their daily festivity scenes. This is another famous painting, The Last Supper, by a famous Renaissance painter, Leonardo da Vinci. It depicts a biblical episode where the Jesus Christ is shown having his last supper among his apostles, and he was aware of that thing, that one of his apostles is going to betray him and going to kill him. So, Last Supper is basically a mural painting, and it illustrates a biblical event. Now we can see that how artists can play on the pre-existing images and create their own new idea or generate their new idea in an already pre-existing image. Creativity by reproducing a pre-existing image. Here you can easily identify the composition. It is the same composition as it was painted earlier by Leonardo in The Last Supper. All the characters are placed in the same gestures and poses, but the idea and the concept illustrates totally a different idea. Here on the left side, you can see the various characters from the Hollywood movies. So here one can easily identify these well-renowned characters from various Bollywood movies and also from the Hollywood movies. Majority of the characters are from Hollywood. On the right side, There is another reproduction of that same image of Last Supper, and the artist Joachim Holmberg has repeated his image constantly in the same postures as we found in the masterpiece by Leonardo. The second type of drawing is life drawing. Drawings that result from direct or real observations are life drawings. Life drawing, also known as still life drawing or figure drawing, portrays all the expressions that are viewed by the artist and captured in the picture. The human figure forms one of the most enduring themes in life drawing that is applied to portraiture, sculpture, medical illustration, cartooning, and comic book illustration, and other fields. So, when we are talking about life drawing, we are talking about capturing a live scene. Either you are painting a still life, either you are painting a portrait from your model who is standing in front of you. Here is an example of students doing a life drawing project in the studio. You can see there are still life objects, but it's a life drawing because they are all doing it live directly with their observation. There is another example of student doing live figure drawing. Here artist is shown capturing live details from his model. Here is another example of famous painting Mona Lisa, a famous drawing portrait by Leonardo da Vinci. Mona Lisa is a half-length portrait painting by Leonardo. It is considered as masterpiece of the Italian Renaissance. It has been described the best known, the most visited, the most written about, the most sung about, the most parodied work of art in the world. The painting's novel qualities include the subject's expression. It's all about the smile of that model which made it, which made the painting very famous. Here in the picture you can see that how in today's day artists are playing with the pre-existing images and are creatively creating the same pre-existing images with new dimensions. On the left side you can see the artist has given a Rajasthani concept to the portrait of Mona Lisa by changing its appearance and changing its overall look with the help of clothes and jewelry. On the right side you can see artist has changed the face and give it a robotic look, although the background has remained the same and majority of the treatment and the majority of the picture has remained the same. Here are other examples of recreated images of Mona Lisa because it was all about associated his smile, her smile, sorry. So here we can see that artist has played with different smiles of the lady. The third type of drawing is emotive drawing. Similar to painting, emotive drawing emphasizes the exploration and expression of different emotions, feelings, and moods. These are generally depicted in the form of a personality. Such kind of paintings are more associated with moods and characters of the model. Here in the example, you can see that how with the help of features, character of the model can be changed by narrowing the eyebrows with the help of lips and with the exaggerated eyes, how one can achieve the different emotive expressions in his painting or drawing. In the right side, you can see also an over exaggerated expressions. The fourth type of drawing is analytical drawing, sketches that are created for clear understanding and representation of observations made by an artist are called analytical drawings. In simple words, analytical drawing is undertaken to divide observations into small parts for a better perspective. Here you can see that artist has tried to capture very minute details of the objects and of the anatomy by studying various angles, by studying various viewpoints. Each segment of the object, of the still life, of the anatomy has been studied very carefully with the help of lines. The fifth type of perspective, the fifth type of drawing is perspective drawing. Perspective drawing is used by artists to create three-dimensional images on a two-dimensional picture plane, such as paper. So paper is your two-dimensional plane, and with the help of shading and drawing, you will create three-dimensional effect on a flat paper. It represents space, distance, volume, light, surface planes, and scale, all viewed from a particular eye level. As it is evident in the image that it represents a very interesting perspective point which is on the eye level. Eye level is the level where you can see direct at your sight. That point which is in front of your sight is called eye level, and we can easily see that all the diagonal lines, all the lines are meeting up at just one point where the door is situated, and which is also called the horizon line. Horizon line is that particular line where the lines of the ground and the sky meets. It is just an illusion of our eyes that sky and ground meets at one point. In reality, it is not possible, but it is just an illusion of eyes, and with the help of perspective, you can easily achieve this particular illusion. Here is another example of perspective. The view has been changed now. It is not at the eye level. This particular view is called bird's eye view or the worm. This particular view is called the ant's view or the bird's eye view. Here we can see that sky is prominent and it can easily be seen from the beneath side. It is bird's eye view, but it is ant's eye view and worm eye view. In bird's eye view, there is a little difference. This is just for your understanding. In bird's eye view, you mostly view buildings from the top, as a bird can view from the sky. But in this case, we are seeing it from the ground. Types of perspective. There are many types of perspective used by artists to convey a sense of space within the composition of a work, including linear perspective, one point perspective, 2 point perspective, and atmospheric perspective. Here we break down the key elements of each and explore how they differ from each other. These are all the types of perspective which can help to make your drawing more stronger, more powerful, and more expressive. First, we have 1 point perspective. 1 point perspective contains one vanishing point along the horizon line. As I told you before, that vanishing point is that particular point where all the lines, all the diagonal lines vanish. And this vanishing point exists right at the top of horizon line where the sky and the ground used to meet, and this is just an illusion of our eyes. This type of perspective can easily be used to portray things such as railroads, hallways, or room interiors. So 1 point perspective is very important to view such kind of settings, like at the railway stations, at the corridors, and also in the interiors of the rooms. You can easily create three-dimensional effect on a 2D surface with the help of this 1 point perspective. This is another example of 1 point perspective. As we can easily see the sky and the road meeting each other at a particular point, which is right in front of our eyes. This point is called the horizon point or the horizon line. All the lines of the buildings, all the diagonal lines of the architecture are moving towards the vanishing point where all the lines going to vanish. So 1 point perspective really helps to achieve a three-dimensional effect on a 2D surface. Here is another example of 1 point perspective. Here we can easily see a railway track where all the poles are gradually narrowing down, and all the lines of that building at the left are meeting at one point, which is vanishing point, and vanishing point is exactly on the horizon line. The sizes of the poles have been intentionally made smaller gradually as they are moving ahead towards horizon line to achieve a perspective feeling. Then there comes 2-point perspective. 2-point perspective, also referred to as three-quarter perspective or angular perspective, contains two vanishing points on the horizon line. This is often used to show something like the corner of a building on a street. One side of the building will vanish towards the left, while the other side will vanish towards the right, creating two separate vanishing points. It is very important to note that 2-point perspective, as evident to its name, it has two perspective vanishing points. In this example, you can easily identify that it is a chessboard, but it has been viewed from the front, and now it is showing two vanishing points, one starting from the center and vanishing towards the right end where the tree is situated, and the second is starting from the front and moving ahead towards the left corner. After discussing 1-point perspective and 2-point perspective, we will discuss about the atmospheric perspective. As it is evident from the name that atmosphere is involved in this perspective. Atmospheric perspective also creates the illusion of depth on a two-dimensional surface. Suppose you are having a canvas. So canvas is your two-dimensional surface, and with the help of atmospheric perspective, you will create the illusion of depth. But instead of using horizon lines and vanishing points, atmospheric perspective primarily uses color. This is the most important point, that in this perspective, vanishing points and horizon lines doesn't matter. The only thing which matters is the color and its application, that how you are using color, how your brush strokes are moving around, and how much texture you have achieved. In other words, objects that are further away have blurry edges and appear lighter in color. One master of atmospheric perspective was William Turner, who boldly incorporated it in his landscape paintings. William Turner was a very famous painter who used to capture mist, fog, rain, steam, snow, sunlight in his paintings. And by capturing all these atmospheric elements or qualities, he used to create atmospheric perspective in his paintings. His paintings do not have sharp edges. As I told you before, that there are no vanishing points, or there will be no use of lines or diagonal lines, but only element which we will use is color. So his paintings appear very soft, having very soft edges. We hardly found any kind of sharp lines in his paintings. This is a very famous painting by the artist Turner, and the title of the painting is Rain, Steam, and Speed. So, in this painting, we can see the usage of color, the application of paint, and the movement of brush strokes. All of the atmosphere, all of the perspective has been captured only with the help of color. There is no prominent or sharp horizon line evident in this painting as it was prominent in the previous perspectives where we saw 1 point perspective and 2 point perspective, but there is a little indication of the sky and the ground meeting at 1 point. Then there comes the 3 point perspective. In 3 point perspective, as it is evident by its name that we have 3 vanishing points in this perspective, and this will apply when viewing an object either from a bird eye view or an aunt's viewpoint. This type of perspective is commonly used in action drawings. As you can see the top of the building, this view is called the bird eye view, where you can view the building from the top as a bird can see, as a bird can view from the top of the sky towards the ground. In 3 point perspective, you will not use the horizontal nor the vertical lines. All the lines are diagonal because, as I said before, that action is involved in this perspective. So there will be no static line. All lines will be diagonal. Only then we can achieve movement in our perspective. All diagonal lines intersect at both points on the horizon, and opposite diagonal lines intersect with one another. A third set of diagonal lines will intersect with the third vanishing point. So there are 3 vanishing points. One vanishing point you can see at the right side as highlighted by the arrow on the horizon line. The second vanishing point is on the left side as highlighted by the red arrow, and the third vanishing point is at the bottom of that building on the ground where it is highlighted by the arrow. So this is a bird viewpoint, diagonal lines intersecting at the third vanishing point. So all the lines are connected with each other. Here is another example of 3 point perspective. Here you can easily understand that how 3 point perspective is working. These are the 3 vanishing points. One you can see moving towards the red line. The second is moving from the front towards the turquoise line. And the third vanishing point is moving towards the bottom of the building in the parrot green line. So there are 3 vanishing points, and there are no such straight lines because this perspective has action and movement in it. Here is the link of a video which you can watch on YouTube. Here you can easily understand step by step that how to achieve warm eye view and aunt's eye view gradually with the help of lines. worm eye view and ant's eye view, as evident from the name, that such a view where you can see from the ground towards the sky. So all the lines meet at these two vanishing points. It is a two perspective point. Diagrammatic drawing. Diagrammatic drawing, when concepts and ideas are explored and investigated, these are documented on paper through the diagrammatic drawing. Thus, diagrammatic drawings serve as active design process for the instant ideas so conceived. So, in diagrammatic drawings, we got the detailed images, as you can see in these examples. On the left side, you can easily see the flower, and the numbering has been given with the help of alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F, and each alphabet represents each part of that flower. On the right side, you can see a tomato, and you can easily identify its different parts, which helps in its growth. There is ovary, there are petals, there are stamens, there is stigma. So, the diagrammatic drawing helps to deeply study your object or subject. You can easily identify all the present details with the help of diagrammatic drawing. Here is another diagrammatic drawing by Leonardo da Vinci, who was not only the very famous painter from Renaissance, but he was also a very remarkable draftsman. He was working on various mechanisms at that time. For example, he was working on a flight machine, and he used to study the detailed drawings of anatomy and muscles, tendons, veins, bones of human beings. So, here in this picture, he has studied about the reproductive organisms. Here is another example of Leonardo drawings, where you can see the whole skeleton of human, and these are all the drawings, detailed drawings. As you can see, the writings among the drawings. If your drawing is strong, if your foundation, if your fundamental structure is strong, then only you can achieve a remarkable painting after your drawing. So, drawing and painting used to work side by side, and both of them help each other, and both of them support each other. After that, we have geometric drawing. Geometric drawing is used particularly in construction fields that demand specific dimensions, myriad scales, true sides, sections, and various other descriptive views are represented through geometric drawings. As it is obvious from its name, geometric, so it involves shapes with sharp edges. You will hardly get any curved lines or curvilinear lines in this drawing. Most of the drawing will be done with the help of sharp, straight, and horizontal lines. Pablo Picasso, the famous Spanish artist, demonstrating extraordinary artistic talent in his early years, Picasso went on to become the most influential artist of the 20th century. He broke the practices of the past and co-pioneered the art movement Cubism. Cubist artists depicted the subject from a multitude of viewpoints to give it greater context, and this made the artwork partially abstract. As it is mentioned here, that he broke all the rules which were following by the different artists and art movements. So he bring a new art movement, Cubism, in which he used simple shapes and simple lines to capture the images, and he used multiple viewpoints which made his drawings and paintings more interesting. For example, if you are viewing a model from the front, all the features you will see from the front side. But if you add the profile features on the same pre-existing front view, it will make image more confusing at the same time, but also interesting and attractive at the same time. This is what he used. The movement revolutionized European painting and sculpture. This is a famous painting of Picasso, and the title of the painting is Girl with a Mandolin. Mandolin is the musical instrument which she is shown playing. And here you can see the different shapes, different sharp lines. Hardly we can identify any curved line. All the lines are straight and sharp, and with the help of these shapes, anatomy has been achieved and a three-dimensional effect has been created on a 2D surface. Here are some other examples of geometric drawing where all the anatomy, all the features have been achieved with the help of straight lines and different shapes. Even on the left side, you can see on the image of horse, light and dark has been created with the help of colors and also with the help of shapes and straight lines. And we hardly identify any curvilinear line. Thank you, students. I hope that today's topic is helpful for you and interesting. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.